is by a 29-year-old musician, producer, and songwriter originally from Miami. He's already hit on the dance club scene, and now Stevie B debuts in the countdown for the first time at number 34.
Number 36.
Dropping 4 notches, here's a singer who says that as a child he listened to just about everything. He liked the Jacksons, and he liked Seals and Crofts. He enjoyed Earth, Wind, and Fire right alongside the Mamas and the Papas. His name is Stevie B, and this is a song he co-wrote called Love Me for Life.
The hits with the Shadow.
It's American Top 40. I'm Shadoe Stevens, and now we're up to the singer who learned an expensive lesson about the music business. A $25,000 lesson. That's the story of 32-year-old Stevie B from Miami. Today, Stevie is very successful. He owns 2 recording studios in Fort Lauderdale. But in the 1970s, he was a college student at Florida A&M trying to break into the music business. And back then, he recorded a song called Sending Out for Love. In an exclusive AT40 interview, Stevie B told us, "That was the first single I ever tried. I had my own record company, but I didn't have a clue about the business end. I didn't know what I was doing." What Stevie B was doing was too many things. He was the singer, writer, producer, and record label executive. In short, he was everything. And then a slight problem came up. In technical terms, we would call it lack of capital. No cash. Stevie says, "I was boxing the records, but then I ran out of money, so those boxes stayed in my closet for years. Because I really didn't know who to send the records to anyway. I didn't have the connections you need. So none of those records ever got mailed, and I was out $25,000. I was broke." Even though Stevie lost a lot of money, he feels it was worth it. He says, "I understand every aspect of the music business now and how the machine works." And now we're up to that singer who entered college on a tennis scholarship and left with an unofficial business degree. That's the story of 32-year-old Stevie B. And Stevie told us, "In high school I played basketball and was a quarterback in football, stuff like that. My real sport, though, was tennis." So Stevie B went to Florida A&M University in Tallahassee on a tennis scholarship with the hopes of someday going pro. Well, after about 3 years there, Stevie left Florida A&M with no official degree, but he says he did get an unofficial degree from the old school of hard knocks. Stevie sold T-shirts on campus for about 7 months. He said, "That was my first business venture. I made good money, about $1,000 a week, and then I opened a jean store. And then when someone bought the store from me about 6 months later, I went into the nightclub business." Stevie B says he had about 20 businesses before he built his first recording studio in 1986. And even though he doesn't have an official business degree, he says it wouldn't make any difference. In the business management company that I own now, I have business controllers and a lawyer that take care of my day-to-day stuff. But I understand the business world fully, and that's a degree in itself. Slipping 6 to number 22 on AT40, here's that enterprising Stevie B with Love and Emotion.
The hits from coast to coast.
Hi, it's Stevie B. Hey, Shadow, I've got the quarter. Have you got the flashback?
Well, certainly. And the man on top this week is a singer, songwriter, producer, and musician from Miami. And at the age of 32, he's had 4 smaller hits, including I Want to Be the One and In My Eyes. So what was it like for him when he actually hit the top last week?
My manager called me and said, this. Oh, yeah, another thing, you're number 1 this week. I'm like, another thing, I'm number 1 this week? He put it in passing. He said, yeah, you're number 1. So we said, well, was it confirmed yet? We were calling around. All the radio had to make the reports and this and that. And it was confirmed, and it was incredible. There is no other feeling. I mean, you work in this business to be number 1, and then all of a sudden you reach it. It's a hell of a feeling.
For a second week in a row, the number 1 song in the USA is Because I Love You by Stevie B.
Hi, I'm Stevie B, and here comes my current hit, Because I Love You, the Postman song. It's a special delivery from The Shadow, right here on American Top 40. Hello, it's Stevie B, and the Billboard hits don't stop till Shadow reaches the top. AT40 will be right back.
The hits from coast to coast, coast to coast.
He's the dance music man from Miami. At least that's what we used to call him here on AT40 until he hit number one with the ballad Because I Love You. And now his follow-up, I'll Be By Your Side, is another ballad, and it's at number 15 this week. Suddenly, you might say, Stevie B is marching to a different beat, and he couldn't be happier about not being, pigeonholed as just a dance music artist.
Most everybody likes up and dance songs. My dance songs were dance ballads, most of the bigger ones. And of course, to watch people dance is one thing, and to watch them get up and groove and get funky with you, that's like, wow. But when you have a ballad like Because I Love You and like the other ballads, you're not a fun person only. People say, wow, this person can be serious. This person can deliver a ballad. A delivery on a ballad is different from delivering a fast song. A ballad is you have to show that emotion, and within that emotion you have to show style, and you have to be able to convince people that this is a real story and this is a real problem or a real success in the relationship, So if people believe you, you're crying for them. You're showing that emotion for them. Because a singer's not a singer until he does a ballad, and that's a fact.
Casey's Top 40.
Well, now we're up to the first top 40 hit in more than 4 years for Stevie B. And he says those were very tough years when one record company refused to pay him and another one refused to release his album. Early in the 90s, Stevie B's career was riding high. In 1991, he hit number one with Because I Love You, the Postman song. And he followed that song with a top 10 smash, I'll Be By Your Side. Then suddenly, Stevie says his whole world crashed in on him. First, he became bogged down in a lawsuit with his record company. Stevie claimed they owed him 3 years' worth of royalties, and Stevie tried to break his contract with them. Things got so bad, he declared bankruptcy. Then, when Stevie was finally released from that contract, he signed a deal with Sony Records. But when he brought the company the first album he'd made for them, they said they didn't like it and refused to release it. Stevie listened to their criticism and made a second album for Sony. But this time, he didn't like it, so he rejected it himself. And after that, Stevie B and Sony agreed to go their separate ways. Finally, Stevie B started his own record company called Emporia Records, and he decided to make the record he wanted to make. That record was the CD Funky Melody, his first album released since 1990. This week, the first hit off that album moves up a notch to number 37 on Casey's Top 40. Here's Stevie B with a song he co-wrote and co-produced, Dream About You.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem, and climbing a notch to number 36, here's the latest hit for Stevie B. He says before he fulfilled his dream to be a singer, some of the ways he made money were mowing lawns and managing a snow cone business. This is Stevie B with Dream About You. That's 35-year-old Stevie B with Dream About You. This week the song rises a notch to number 36.
Casey counts them down.